Hey, Jim.
Mark, how you doing?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Hang on here. You should be able
There
to,
you go.
yeah.
I'm loving that USA hat.
Yeah. I was going to wear I didn't put my Jim Pruden for Congress shirt on. I had that. I should put that on for you.
I know I would have loved that. Hey, listen, I am I'm your biggest fan, and I know who you are, and we need you so bad right now.
I tell you what, it's worse than I ever thought it would. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Actually, 2 years ago, I saw that we were going to be right where we are. I had expected it to actually start up after Trump's reelection, not before. But this is no shock to me that this is where we are.
Well, they've been throwing everything they have at Trump, and they just keep losing. So now they're desperate, and they're really, I mean, this pandemic is really reaching.
Well, yeah, they're using it as a ruse. I read an article yesterday. There's a meeting that Bill Gates is in this, Al Gore, Prince Charles, and some other guys in the International Monetary Fund. And what they want to do is transition not only our country, but the remaining free countries of the world into socialist states. And for this one world order thing that they
Yep.
got their eyes on, and they're not even keeping it undercover anymore.
No, it's wide open. The door's closed behind them, and they're going for it.
Yeah, they are, and they said that the pandemic was great. They're trying to use that because anywhere where you create desperation, you create opportunity for people willing to jump into change. And if the pandemic goes away, they said that they're going to use the global global warming threat as a
Jim, where'd you see that? Where did you see that information?
It was on it was email. Mark had emailed it to you.
Okay, Mark, I hadn't seen that.
Hang on, let me forward this to you again, Lou.
Lou, we can't see you. Can you hear us okay?
I'm sorry, did you see it?
Hold on 1 second.
I'm sending it to you again right now.
All right.
Make sure it's the one from Mark and not from me. I had scheduled one and then Mark had set one up, so.
No, I have the Zoom meeting. I'm there.
Oh, you're there.
Okay. Are we going to get to see you, Lou, or are you just without out of camera?
I have a camera set up with my computer, so you won't see me. But I'm on. I hear you. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you fine.
Well, I'm not hearing you through my screen, Lou. I'm not sure if are you talking through your computer? Do you have your computer?
No, I'm just talking through my phone. I'm on the phone. I can hear you both.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you seeing us, Lou?
I see you both.
Oh, you do? Okay. Because I see you're on mute. So you want to stay on the phone, or you want to turn on your computer?
No, I'll stay on the phone for the sake of the meeting. I'm fine. I'm good. Because you're not going to see me anyway. I do this a lot. I do meetings a lot. You're not going to see me.
Yeah.
And I don't have the camera set up on my computer.
Okay.
But I do the meetings on my phone if it works. Sometimes I do them on the computer, so I'm fine. I'm all set.
Oh, okay. All right, good. I'm glad I had you on a speakerphone then. All right. So, Mark, you hear him on the speakerphone? I've got pretty good microphone here.
I can hear it.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, we're all here. You and I spoke before. Mark, we need to be quick this morning. Lou has to go somewhere, and I've got some other stuff got to jump on real quick. It's good to see you again. We spoke once before. I kind of know, what it is that you offer, and, trying to bring, Lou up to speed on it. And, one of the things, we're looking, initially we're trying to turn up some ads on Facebook. We're getting ready to come into the primary. We're in the primary season right now. It's only about 5 weeks away. And, we have TV ads running. We've got emails running. I've got a 26,000 card email, or not email, but mailer going out here just in a couple days. And so, we're doing a lot of stuff right now. And, we wanted to try and turn up an email ad, but I was telling Lou that, really, your company does a lot more than that. And I'm not sure if you parse it out by, by individual medium, meaning YouTube, email, SMS, or if it's one big package that you use with Simplify. So tell Lou real quick, about that and the cost structure, and if the cost structure is broken down by media type, again, whether it's, a combination of deliveries or on a per delivery medium basis.
Very good. Lou, I assume you're familiar with all the digital stuff. Does Cross Media do digital yourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
So I do. I work with a lot of. I work with CEOs primarily, Mark, and so I've done a fair amount of digital with companies. We haven't done any digital here yet. We've just been doing television advertising. So we create spots, have airtime, do the like. Jim's doing an email on his own at this point.
Okay.
But he has a really good email list. We've talked to some experts. I think Jim's list is equivalent to what the experts, I don't want to mention their name, but what they had offered to us. And right now, actually what happened yesterday was that we were working on the Facebook campaign because we want to have a much greater Facebook presence. And I was delayed because of the Facebook has required. I hadn't done a lot of Facebook ads recently.
Okay.
All my work was done probably last year, 2 years ago. Most recently was probably about 9 months ago that I actually did any Facebook posting for my clients. But we want someone who can come in there and handle the Facebook and help us in a few areas. But we already have a fairly significant presence going.
Very
and
good.
So we do everything. I want to find out how you charge. I want to find out what you do and how you feel perhaps you could be of help to.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm my wheelhouse, if you will, is programmatic. And Jim, there's been some things happen since you and I've last talked. Is I've actually picked up another company that's is real good into programmatic as well as Facebook and Instagram. And so what I would like to do is present a solution that is programmatic as well as Facebook and Instagram. And Lou, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about programmatic, just so to make sure we understand what I'm talking about. But programmatic is, have you ever, gone on Amazon and say, boy, I really like that green sofa. And I mean, the damn thing, that green sofa follows you everywhere. No matter where you go, the green sofa shows up. And that's really what what we do. And it's designed, the programmatic is designed through website ads. So like when somebody goes in and pulls up a website ad, no matter if it's CNN, CSNBC, whatever, or 6 ways to clip your toenails, that ad will be delivered. And how do we find these digital devices? So there's probably 200 different ways that we can find the devices. But the ones you hear everybody talk about most is like geofencing. So if we could get Jim's voter roll, we can go in and geofence, put an electronic blanket around each one of the houses that are in Jim's voter roll. And we'll capture all the device IDs within that house. And then whenever, throughout the day, whenever they're bringing up a website, boom, it'll deliver that programmatic ad. And if you've ever been on the Wall Street Journal or any of these websites and you're scrolling down and you see a lot of white spaces around different things, those are programmatic billboards waiting on programmatic ads. And the ads are absolutely, they're bought and sold in microseconds as they come in. And
I follow you on that. And I had a client that was in the gold business about 9 months ago, actually, not the PEO business. Anyway, and yeah, we did that. I mean,
excellent.
yeah, I'm not very knowledgeable, I'm not an expert on it, but I know that we work with a local agency, 561 here in Boca, did that. So I follow you very clearly. Let me ask you, okay, so the programmatic is good. How do you charge for that?
Well, programmatic, just to give you some ballpark ideas, and by the way, I'm more of a broker now, so I have more than one company that I work with. So the numbers I'm going to give you are from the one company, which is Landmarks, which I started with. And so if we were going to do 1 million impressions, and of course, an impression is every time somebody sees an ad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at around $13,188. If we were to buy 2 million impressions, it would be $23,988. If we wanted to have a smaller, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I'm just listening, taking notes.
Okay, and then so like for instance, if you wanted to drop down to say only 360,000 impressions, it would be around $8,388. There's a setup fee of $300, and there's an artwork charge of $300. I know that Jim already has his web page ready, so that's pretty much it, and that's with Landmarks. And I have another company that's very, very established, and I'm thrilled to be a part of them. And they also, within this pricing structure, will reach out and pick up Facebook and also Instagram.
When you say they'll reach out and pick up Facebook and Instagram, what do you mean?
Well, that means that we can get on the Facebook feed. When you're doing programmatic, a lot of times you can wind up on Facebook, but you're in the programmatic around the sides of it. So with this other company.
So we're not putting spots inside the news feed.
Right. So we can do.
Okay.
And this other company that I work with have 4 or 5 just in the last year, 4 or 5 successful wins, conservative wins with conservative candidates in the congressional side.
Sure. So now you usually picked up somebody with Facebook. So do you have somebody who can put? We have ads, we have videos, we have things for Facebook. Do you have somebody who can actually place those for us?
Yes. Yes. The whole thing.
And how much do they charge to do that part? Can Facebook market want to do that? I'm not saying that we would, or Jim would want to do that. Can we just do Facebook?
Right. We can do that. I don't have that pricing handy because that's more of a custom build thing. But I think we can stay. I think they're going to be pretty close to the prices that I've already given you. But it'll also include. It'll probably include a little less programmatic, but it'll be filtering in Facebook and also Instagram. And Jim, do you remember during our campaign school, there was a gentleman that got up and he talked about, on the digital side, like you should have, 55% programmatic, 45% Facebook, 40% Instagram as kind of a balance. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah, I vaguely remember when he's talking about the digital marketing side. Yep.
Right. And his name is Roy McShane. And I've developed a relationship with Roy as well because I found him to be fantastic and very good at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that's helpful. That's helpful to know, Mark. You know, I would be curious. I would like to know, you know, the process that we follow to get started, just so we have the information, and Jim and I can kind of kick it around.
Okay.
But the process that we would have to get started, I'm in particular interested in the news feeds. So
Okay.
I've done a fair amount of that in the past. I mean, I did that quite a bit. I haven't done it in 9 months,
Okay.
but I did it for like 3 or 4 years before that. I would put the ads together for clients. I use video ads, actually, creative video ads, and then I put them into the news feeds, and then we'd send them all over, you know, looking for lead generation. That's what we did.
Right. And also,
Having someone do that for us, put us into those news feeds with ads that we either create together. I do video a lot, and I do, like I said, TV spots for Jim now, and you know, we could just use a little bit of assistance, I think, there. So
right.
it would be good to find out. And normally, when I work with someone, what I work with is basically a 15% commission structure. So, you know, especially if we're giving the artwork and we're giving all the video, we just want them to place the ads and, you know, do the work, make sure they're being done, tweak it if they need to. The repurposing that you're talking about, that would be, you know, great. But that's kind of where we're used to coming from. So I'm not sure. I'll take a look at your numbers and see kind of how that works.
Well, Lou, I tell you that you and I can have a separate conversation at another time when I begin to give you this information. And, you know, I would love to be able to assist you in all the things you're doing as well. And I heard everything you said. So we have, one thing I want to comment on is the video. Right now, digital is with impressions is the big rage, but video coming on fast, it's going to get to where it's mostly all video. And right now, we can take Jim's video ads that you've done and place them programmatically and place them on the Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds. But you have to realize that the pricing structure I just gave you is for digital only. The video cost is probably going to be double. Now that'll probably change as time goes by, but right now to present digital is more expensive.
Well, you could probably accomplish the same thing, Mark. It seems like if you run an ad, because when they click on that, if they click on it and go to video, as opposed to having a direct video feed.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, we can work with that. What I want to know again, real quick, is that, you know, if I produce the list, the voter roll for you,
right.
Tell me exactly where this is going to show up. All the mediums is going to show up on. Is it YouTube? Does it show up while I've got my email screen up? Because
not YouTube. YouTube is separate.
Okay.
Okay. So where it's going to show up on the programmatic side, it's going to show up when people go in and they pull up a website, and it's going to deliver your ad, and they can click on that. And when they click on it, it could go to a video for sure.
Yep.
Okay. And then that would still be the programmatic price, or the digital price. On the Facebook ads, instead of being a website, you would wind up on everybody's feed within your voter roll.
Well, their feed would their feed includes, like, for example, when I've got my email screen up, I have, you know, ads popping up on the right hand side. Is that what you're talking about? Or if I'm searching on Google, you know, the ads are popping up on the right hand side or right.
Those are programmatic.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking is where are all these little pop-ups going to show up? Is it?
They're going to show up exactly there, like when you're looking at a website, and there's on the artwork side of things, you're going to have 5 different ad sizes. You know, one will go across the top, one will be bigger, maybe down the right side, one will be like very large. There's like 5 different ad sizes. So when this buying and selling of these ads take place on a microsecond, they're all coming together. So whatever that little ad space is, those little billboards, whatever's available, boom, that sale is going to go right. It's going to go in there.
Okay, so me as a voter, you know, again, where would I see all the possible exposures from?
Well, as a voter, number one, we're going to capture through the voter roll you give us. We're going to have all the physical addresses that your voters live in,
Okay.
and we're going to geofence each individual house,
Mhm.
and we're going to capture the cell phone ID, not the phone number, but the ID that this cell phone communicates to the internet with. And when we capture that, so when they go, so we've got them ready. So when they go online to pull up a website, boom, it's going to wind up on it's going to be delivered programmatically.
Okay. No SMS or.
No texting, no YouTube, strictly programmatic.
Okay.
And then when it's going to Facebook side, now it could show up on the side of Facebook, but what you're really looking for with Facebook is to show up within the feed.
Yep.
And so if we say we're going to do 40% of this is going to be Facebook, then it'll wind up within the feed. Like you're looking at, a picture of Lou's dog, and then the next thing you see, Jim Pruden for Congress.
Okay.
Mark, hold on, Mark, 1 second. Now, so you're saying that you can use programmatic and you can specify that you want it inside the feed. Is that correct?
That is most definitely correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, secondly, okay. So you can put it inside the Facebook feed. I didn't understand that before. All right. How specifically can you target the ads? So, for example, if we want everyone in our list every time they go to Fox News, we want our ad to be in there. Is that like putting it in television in a fixed,
Yeah.
as a fixed programming? Tell me how that works.
Okay. The answer is yes to your question. You can specifically say, I want to be on these websites. But there's like 200 different ways to do it. Basically what we try, rather than to try to teach people how to build a watch, we want to help them tell what time it is. So, and that's an old cliche, I know, but basically there's about 200 different ways to find the people. So we have a mousetrap that can find the people that you want to reach. And we have to sit down and figure out who those people are. So we've already done that. In one way, we've done that with give us a voter roll, bam, those are all your conservative voters. I do recognize that as we are moving into this election, there's a lot of Democrats that are, they feel their party's left them. And that, so you want to try to maybe reach out to them as well. It's your call on how you do that.
Well, that's a different phase. Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, that's a different phase, and that's what I was saying in the beginning. We're in the primary phase right now, and you're absolutely right, Mark. For the primary, I'd be focusing only on the database of Republicans,
Right.
and the time frame between the primary and the general election. Then could add a separate database of independents because we have to pick up the independents.
And there's another way. There's another strategy.
I have a follow-up original question.
Yes, sir.
With the campaigns I've done like this in the past, Mark, one of the problems, or actually I was working with the gold company, there were too many ads that were showing up on people's websites. It was actually annoying. So you can limit it to individuals to like 3 pop-ups, right? But I want to target to specific times and places, like when they're on Fox. See, I know we can reach them anywhere, but I want to reach them when they're in that mode, when they're thinking like this, when they're looking at issues. That's why I want to reach them, and you're saying that we can, because I want to reach them everywhere. I want to reach when they're looking at Home Depot. I want to reach them when they're doing that kind of thing. I'd like to reach them when they're looking at Fox News or they're doing things that are that their mind is there. And so I guess the question is, can we do that? And how does that cost? Is it just something that we can filter?
Yes, filter, it's filter. The answer is yes, 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 and more yeses. We can do all of that. And I was just going to give you one more example. Like I say, there's about 200 examples, but like there's a thing called geo-targeting with contextual. So let's just say we laid instead of laying an electronic blanket around each one of the houses that are Republicans, we lay an electronic blanket over the whole district, okay, that Jim's in, or the whole city or the zip codes. And we use keywords. So like anytime somebody goes into their browser and in the Google browser and types in a keyword, no matter what it would be, it might be they want to read about conservatives, or they want to read about a certain topic. Well, when they're doing that, then Jim's ad will drop right in on top of them. And I'll give you an example. Now this is, huh?
I like that.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. An example it's not a political example. It's a simple example, but when I finish, it'll really show the story. There's this guy that wants to buy a pickup truck. So he goes to Ford website and looks at the pickup trucks. And while he's looking on that website, there's a programmatic ad that drops right in on him that says Superior Toyota. And so the guy's interrupted by that, okay? He's interrupted by that, and he sees it. And then he goes on to Chevy, and he's looking through the Chevy pickup trucks. In drops the ad, Superior Toyota. So now he's off and he's researching, he's doing online, he's kind of like, looking for articles on these pickup trucks, and boom, in drops the ad, Superior Toyota. And at the end of the story, the guy gets in his car and he drives down to Superior Toyota and buys a pickup truck. And that's kind of what that is.
I understand that. Is there anything you can send me that would help me to really grasp all this well and all the different options that are available? Mark,
Yes, sir.
Is there some literature that you have that would give me a real solid grasp of what you're capable of doing?
Right. What I'd like to do is set up a separate meeting as a step 1, step 2, step 3. The answer is, number 1, I want to send you information that you just requested. Number 2, I'd like to do a Zoom meeting with you that would be more specific to how I can help you with your business. And of course, what we're trying to do is help Jim. So the answer is yes, I will get you all that.
Great. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time. Jim, do you have anything else you want to ask?
Yeah. So, I guess what I'm hearing was, on the pricing side, obviously we can do a fixed period of time, and it's all based upon impressions, right, Mark?
And say that one more time.
It's the pricing is really based upon number of impressions.
Right. It's all based on impressions. And so what we would do is we just look at how many days there are until, of course, you've got 2 things going on. You're trying to win the primary. And then after you win the primary, which we feel you're going to, then we move to the general election. And then we start counting those days. So like we did the governor's race in Louisville, and Gun Owners of America, our friend Val helped me with that. And they bought 1 million impressions, and we loaded them all in the last 6 days is what we did.
Oh, wow. 1 million impressions in 6 days?
Right. 1 million
Wow.
impressions. And
then we'd have to determine how we want that split up, meaning, what percent in Facebook, what percent in,
right.
Going on the general feed, that type of thing, right?
Right. We can pick all that. And one last thing that I want to mention is that we can geofence the voting polls, voting booths.
Yep.
So we'll be able to tell you how many people saw the impressions and how many went to the voting booths.
And
Okay.
Mark, all the filtering you mentioned earlier, that's all just part of the price, correct?
That's all. Yes, sir. It is.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, I'm done. I look forward to talking to you again. I appreciate your time, Mark. This is a good feed, and I love what you're doing and helping conservative candidates. I understand that's pretty much what you do with your company.
And what is the breakdown one last time on the pricing on the impressions? What's the like the 300, 600 impressions?
Yeah, these are landmarks pricings, and it's For 1 million impressions, it's 13,188. For 2 million impressions, it's 23,988. There's a $300 artwork charge, a $300 setup fee, and then we'll be using your website. We'll need to pixel your website so we can tell you how many people are coming in, how many are clicking, and
Yeah.
all that.
I
And
mean, what about the 300,000 to 500,000 impressions?
That was 360,000 impressions for $8,388.
8,000. Okay. So it's pretty close. It's between 8 and 12. You get 3 times the number of impressions on those.
Right.
I see. Okay. So it's got it's like printing. It's got a minimum
Right.
fee you're looking for. Okay. And that's a one-time fee if you set up for, well, because it's based on impressions. So it doesn't matter whether it's 6 weeks or 10 weeks, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
When we're working with businesses, we'll spread that out over a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. I'm good. Lou, you anything else?
I'm good right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, Mark.
Thank you.
Listen, we got to hop, but it's good to see you again. You know, we'll be back to you.
Okay, I know my next move with Lou. What's my next move with you, Jim?
You know, Mark and Lou and I are going to chat, you know, strategically, you know, because like we said, we had a lot of stuff out there right now, and it's a function of, you know, how much we want to put out in what period of time. And so we're going to talk about that, and also what the filter would be, you know, percentage wise, what medium we would want to tell you to target, and then we would it's on us to come back to you. You know,
Okay.
I'll come back to you and let you know where we are, or if we have any more questions.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, thank you, guys. Lou, you'll be hearing from me within the next 3-4 days.
Very good. I'll get back with you sooner. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
good luck, Jim. My thoughts, prayers, hopes are all with you. We need you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mark. Good to
Thank
see
you. Bye-bye.